All right. So with that being said, my brothers and sisters, we're going to go ahead and bring Trey on. He's going to be bringing the lesson for today. I know it's going to be a great blessing to all of us. And let us just ready our hearts and minds to receive from the word of Yah. All right, my brother Trey.
Right on, right on. I appreciate it, brother. I appreciate you giving me opportunity. I thank everybody for taking the time to come and celebrate this feast day. It is important, as Brother Ben said. It truly is. I think it's much more important than we give it credit. Sometimes we do things, and because we're here in the West, we do things so repetitively and get into the groove of doing things that we take it like it's a holiday sometimes. When I say we, I mean us as a nation. I'm not talking to the individual. I'm sure, not some, a lot of us take it very seriously, but we're just going to go over a lesson to emphasize how serious it is. With that being said, we're going to start. I'm gonna start in the book of Exodus, chapter 13, verses 1 through 10. And this is going to lay the groundwork of the feast day. And we're going to see where the Most High go with it. And I pray that that the Most High lead me in this teaching. And I pray that you pray for me also. I pray it edifies the individual in your walk. But again, I thank you. But when we get there to Exodus chapter 13, if somebody or anybody put a 1 in the chat to let me know we're there, and then I'll start reading whenever we get there. And all right, I appreciate it. Again, it's Exodus chapter 13, verses 1 through 10. Exodus chapter 13, verses 1 through 10. And because we're there, I did get a 1 in the chat. I'm gonna go ahead and start reading. And it says, and Yahuwah spoke to Moshe, saying, Kodesh to me all the firstborn, the one opening the womb among the children of Israel, among man and among beasts, it is mine. And Moshe said to the people, remember this day in which you went out of Mitzrayim, out of the house of slavery. For by strength of hand, Yahuwah brought you out of this place. And whatever is leavened shall not be eaten. Today you are going out in the month of Abib. And it shall be when Yahuwah brings you into the land of the Canaanites and the Hittites and the Amorites and the Hivites and the Jebusites, which he swore to your fathers to give you, a land flowing with milk and honey, that you shall keep this service in this month. 7 days you eat unleavened bread, and on the 7th day is a festival to Yahuwah. Unleavened bread is to be eaten the 7 days, and whatever is leavened is not to be seen with you, and leaven is not to be seen with you within all your border. And you shall inform your son in that day, saying, it is because of what Yahuwah did for me when I came up from Mitzrayim. And it shall be as a sign to you on your hand, and as a reminder between your eyes, that the Torah of Yahuwah is to be in your mouth. For what a strong hand Yahuwah has brought you out of Mitzrayim. And you shall guard this law at its appointed time, from year to year. So we see that it was more than just the eating of unleavened bread, but the unleavened bread was connected to the Torah itself, and it was a sign. It was a sign on your right hand, on your hand, and a reminder between your eyes that the Torah of Yahuwah is to be in your mouth. So the eating of unleavened bread was tied to the Torah, which was a sign that it should come out of your mouth. The eating of bread, unleavened bread. Now, when he first asked me he first asked to do the teaching on unleavened bread, I mean, at first I was just mind shooting 80 different ways. But as I was outside one day, the Most High was slowing me down in my thoughts to really focus on what that leaven meant and why did the Most High specifically say unleavened bread. And I'm going to share my screen with you so you can see something right quick. And this is the definition of leaven. This is the Webster's definition of leaven. And the first definition is a substance such as yeast used to produce fermentation in dough or a liquid. But then the second definition is something that modifies or lightens. And when I read that, when it said something that modifies or lightens, he said that he wanted unleavened bread. And it was linked to the Torah. And it says that leaven, to put leaven in something is to modify something. And I'm like, wait a minute now. If leaven is used to modify something, he's saying that I want unleavened bread. He's saying, I don't want my word, the Torah, modified in no type of way. I want it unleavened. I want my word to be in your mouth, not you taking my word to do something, do your own thing with it, to turn it into whatever you want. And if you notice, ultimately, right on. I appreciate it there, brother. And let me see. Let me share it with you. So I don't want nobody to think that y'all can see it. It's sharing. Okay, it's sharing. All right. You can see, if you see leaven, it says, if you go to 2, it says something that modifies or lightens. And to it gives I'll stop sharing right now. There we go. All right. And it gives to leaven something, also to lighten. It's almost like to bring humor in, if you ever been to a funeral and somebody says something about somebody who passed and everybody's just dreary and mourning, and then somebody tell you about who this person was, and they lighten the mood up a little bit and they tell a joke. Well, that is to leaven it. It's to lighten it up with humor. Or to modify a thing means to leaven it. So again, Yahuwah wants his word unmodified in order for the person to do it and receive the mark and or seal, because it's a mark in your hand and between your frontlets. It is a mark for you to give his word untarnished. So that's well, all right. So we bring this unleavened bread, and we know that everything pointed to Yeshua HaMashiach. So when I went and I studied, when I was studying who was Yeshua and what was going against him. And you're going to see where the leaven and the unleavened was clashing with each other. And I want to bring that out more into the study of the leaven versus the unleavened, and why the Most High emphasized for it to be unleavened. So we're going to go to John 1, 14 through 18. I want to establish something with Yeshua HaMashiach. John 1, 14 through 18. We're going to just go with 14. Not even 14 through 18. I'm going to go John 1, 14. And whenever anybody there, please, for the future, whenever somebody get there, please just put a 1 down. I appreciate it. Whenever we're there, whenever I call out a scripture, whenever a person's there, and we do have somebody there, and I'm gonna read it. And it says, and the word became flesh and pitched his tent amongst us, and we saw his esteem as of an only brought forth of the Father, complete in favor and truth. So In the beginning was the Word, and Yeshua himself was unleavened, because he wasn't modified. He was solidified in the word of the Father. He lived it out. He did everything his Father told him to do. He lived it out, to the T. So he was unchanged. And if all right, if we could go to Matthew 16, verses 1 through 12. Matthew 16, verses 1 through 12. Matthew 16, verses 1 through 12. And whenever anybody's there, please just let me know. Let me know. All right. Matthew 16, verses 1 through 12. And this is the connection between the leaven and teachings. All right. Matthew 16. And I'm going to start reading. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees came and trying him asked that he would show them a sign from the Shamaim. And he answered and said to them, when it is evening, you say fair weather, for the Shamaim is red, and in the morning stormy weather today, for the Shamaim is red and overcast. You hypocrites, know how to discern the face of the Shamaim, but not the signs of the times. A wicked and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign shall be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left them and went away. And his Talmudim came to the other side and had forgotten to take bread. And Yeshua said to them, keep in mind, and beware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. And they reasoned among themselves, saying, because we brought no bread. But Yeshua, aware of this, said to them, O you of little belief, why do you reason among yourselves, because you brought no bread? Do you still not understand, neither remember the 5 loaves of the 5,000 and how many baskets you picked up? Or the 7 loaves of the 4,000 and how many large baskets you picked up? How is it that you do not understand that I did not speak to you concerning bread, but to be aware of the leaven of the Pharisees and the Sadducees? Then they understood that he did not say to beware of the leaven of the bread, but the teachings of the Pharisees and the Sadducees. So he likened leaven, remember, he's the word, unleavened, the word of Yahuwah. And he himself teach it just like the Most High gave it to him. He's unleavened, untainted, unmodified. And he said, beware of them. They modify it. Beware of their teachings. They will modify something to have you twisted and turned up around here. And he said, keep that in mind. He wants them to remember this, like keep that in the forefront. And it's kind of strange, and now that I'm thinking about it, is that he likened them not understanding to unbelief, of not understanding what he was saying. He likened that to unbelief in the word. That's a teaching in and of itself, that he checked them on that. But in this teaching, we're going to connect that you're going to see where the leaven and the unleavened clash with each other. You're going to see that everything that Yeshua did was according to Torah, according to the law of the Most High, untainted. And you're going to see how the Sadducees and right on, Brother Demetrius, uncut, unleavened, uncut, just uncut, raw. And you're going to see how the Sadducees and the Sadducees and the Pharisees, how they were directly in contrast with the Torah. And things that they did were in direct contrast and was warring against the Most High without them thinking about it. They so busy trying to be cool and try to be the one, trying to be Neo and the authority and over everybody, that they didn't even see that they were in direct conflict with Yahuwah himself, that y'all were battling Yahuwah. And That's why Yeshua told them, keep this in mind. He likened what they was doing to unbelief. Like, keep this, y'all walking with me. You should recognize these things. And they like, man, we talking about, y'all done just ate a whole fish sandwich. Just came from Captain D's. Whole fish sandwich, tearing it up. And they done completely forgot. Talking about, man, man, he talking about unleavened bread. We ain't got no bread in our pockets, checking their pockets, checking their shoes and socks. He like, y'all just off a little bit. But that's all right. They're going to tighten up later on. They're going to tighten up. But if we can turn to Matthew 16. No, you ain't got to turn nowhere. We already there at Matthew 16. What are we talking about? We're going to go to Matthew 16, verses 1 through 4. So we're going to back this up a little bit. We already there. Nobody got to put a 1. We already at Matthew 16, verse 1 through 4. And I want you to pay attention to what's happening now, according to the word. And the Pharisees and the Sadducees came and trying him, asked that he could show them a sign from the Shamaim. And he answered and said to them, when it is evening, when it is evening, you say fair weather, for the Shamaim is red, and in the morning stormy weather today, for the Shamaim is red and overcast. You hypocrites, how you hypocrites know how to discern the face of the Shamaim, but not the signs of the time. A wicked and adulterous generation seeks after a sign, and no sign shall be given to it except the sign of the prophet Jonah. And he left them and went away. Now, let's turn to Deuteronomy 6 and 16. Let's go to the Torah. Let's see what they did. Let's see what they did according to the Torah. Go to Deuteronomy 6. Keep your hand on, don't just flop. Keep a bookmark now on Matthew. Don't just flop and just lose it.
Too late for me.
All right. My wife said it's too late for her. She didn't already flop and the flip. So we had Deuteronomy 6 and 16. Whenever you're there, put a 1 in the box. I appreciate that. There we go. We got a 1 just popped up.
6 and 1.
We're gonna go to Deuteronomy 6, verse 16. All right. Verse 16 said, do not try Yahuwah, your Elohim, as you tried him in mine say Massa, M-A-S-S-A-H. I don't know what y'all probably say. I'm sure that this is the Hallelujah scripture. So sometimes my wife says Makash, but she got the Sefer. The Most High said, don't try him, right? And we're going to get an understanding of what he means by don't try him. If you could go to Isaiah 7 and 12. Isaiah chapter 7, verse 12. The prophet Isaiah, or Yeshayahu, chapter 7, verse 12. And I'm gonna start at 10, and then I'm gonna go to 12. And whenever anybody there, just put a 1. Anytime you get there, just put a 1. Isaiah chapter 7, verse. We're gonna go to from 10 to 12. Chapter 7, verses 10 to 12. All right, we got some 1s up there. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and read that. And it says, and Yahuwah spoke again to Ahaz, saying, ask a sign for yourself from Yahuwah your Elohim, make deep the request or make it high. But Ahaz says, I do not ask nor try Yahuwah. He just believed the prophet when the prophet came. He like, I ain't gonna try you by asking for no sign. If the prophet came and said what is or what's not, I'm just gonna believe that word. I'm gonna let your word just be true. Because he already told what it is about a prophet. He said, if the word come to pass, then that prophet is from him. If it don't, then he not from him. Isaiah has established himself so much that, hey, when he came up to the king, Ahaz was like, nah, Isaiah, I know already seen everything come out your mouth. True. So if you came to me and said, Yahuwah said, hey, ask for me a sign, nah, I already seen it. Everything you said in the past came true. Cool. Let's run with that. I ain't gonna even try the Most High. He literally said, he equated the prophet asking him, do Yahuwah, and Yahuwah's actually saying this. Hey, do you need a sign? He said, I ain't gonna try you like that. What you say gonna be what it is. So let's come. If in Deuteronomy, the Torah said, don't try Yahuwah, your Elohim. And then the Sadducees and Pharisees, no, give us a sign. They trying Yahuwah, going up to him. You show us something. First off, let's get something straight. Who said you was that important? Why? Because you a Sadducee and Pharisee? You put yourself in a spot that ain't nobody told you to be in? And we got that problem. See, when we read these scriptures, we need to get that the Most High is showing the spirit of a thing. So when you see the best of a person, remember these people are human. You can find yourself, you can find characteristics of yourself in the best of a person in scripture. But you can even find the worst of yourself in the scripture of somebody that's the worst in the scripture also. So the Most High saying, don't try. We know a lot of folks who put themselves in a position the Most High ain't put them in, and they get to talking and yapping as if somebody said that they were anointed to be there. I don't know, maybe the Pope did it, sprinkled some water on them and did the Pope talk with the stick and stuff, and then they themselves would, I'm actually trying not to say it, but I am going to say it. What do you think the Christian church is? Ultimately, what do you think they are? What do you in yourself think the Christian church is? That's a religion, took the word and put themselves in the place of a whole people, put themselves in the place of any and everything, and then twisted all the scriptures to just fit themselves. Hey, we the people now, we're spiritual Israel. What we say, that's why you got all these different denominations, and hey, what we say is right, and we ain't, matter of fact, we so holy, we ain't even gonna stay on earth. Ain't even no kingdom on earth. We going up to the Shamayim. Somebody gonna come zap us away. We going somewhere else, to another planet. It's gonna be a whole new earth somewhere, and we the first ones that gonna go. As wicked as we are, you tell you the truth, I pray they right. I pray that they disappear and go to another planet. Yeah. But we see in going back to Matthew, we see that what they did was actually against the word. They're going against, see, that's how the Most High, you talking about a strong delusion? The Most High sent someone in the flesh. That's right, Brother Ben, the offspring of the great the Roman Catholic Church. Show is. But that the Most High sent the man. There's nothing new under the sun. Didn't Moshe himself say to the people who was going against him, to Korah, to all them, when you go against me, you're going against Yahuwah. Like, can't you see that? I'm only here to bring you the word of what thus says Yahuwah, but you keep coming to me. How many times do you have to hit his face and say, man, why are you going against me? Why are you going against Aaron? Why are you going against Joshua? Why are you going against us? You're too scared to go against, you don't want to say you're going against Yahuwah. You too scared for that. Everybody, you know, it's easy to talk, to speak against the man. It's easy to beat up on the man or the woman. It's easy. So when I say, I'm not saying women, when I say man, I'm talking about mankind. It's easy to beat against the human that the Most High sent. It's easy. But nobody want to speak against Yahuwah because that, and you're like, I ain't gonna say that to him, but I can beat him up because he flesh. Pow, pow, pow. Now you swinging on somebody like you Batman from the old days, bam, and smack and pow. But you don't want to deal with who you really need to deal with. You don't want to talk to who you really need to talk to. Because it's easy. It's easy. Matthew 16. No, my bad. Sorry about that. Matthew 23, verse 3. Watch this. Watch this. This is Matthew 23, verse 3. And put a 1 in whenever you get there. Matthew 23, verse 3. All right. When everybody there, I'm gonna go ahead and read. Let me see. I got one. All right. We're about to get ready to fire it off. All right. Matthew 23, verse 3, it says, and then Yeshua spoke to the crowds and to his Talmudim, saying, the scribes and the Pharisees sit on the seat of Moshe. Therefore, whatever he says to you to guard and do. But do not do according to their works, for they say and do not do. So he's saying they sitting in Moshe's seat. The whole gang of them, all of them can't even do one chair. Moshe was one man. They all sitting, it's almost like playing duck, duck, goose when you get to the last seat. 2, 3 people running, about to knock each other over. They acting like kids, all of them sitting on one seat. All of them can't even sit there. You know they couldn't. And they saying, but he said that whatever he says to you to guard, and we talk according to the word, he's saying, whatever they telling you to guard and do, but do not do according to their works, for they say and do not do. Keep your hand right there and go to Deuteronomy 29. Go to Deuteronomy 29, verses 1 through 9. Deuteronomy 29, verses 1 through 9. So they talking it. They like, yeah, just like, come on now. Everybody done been to church before. If not, come. Praise Yah if you haven't, that you just missed it. That's actually a good thing. That's why I'm thankful that we got children. And we have children who haven't been in that Babylonian system. You thank the Most High, his word is true. That we have a generation on this planet. When you see babies who ain't been through that system, praise the Most High, give glory to them, because it's a good thing that we got kids that ain't been through that system, that they ain't gonna know how my man gonna promise somebody a whole house with no job. How you gonna get a new car with no license? You gonna get a brand new job with no work history. Just sweating and with a whole cloth, and nothing making sense. But we're going to Deuteronomy 29, verse 1 through 9.
29, you said?
Deuteronomy 29, verses 1 through 9. Did I say Deuteronomy 9? Deuteronomy 29, verses 1 through 9. Now we just see that we was just at Matthew 23 and 3, and Yeshua said to do the word. Where he get that from? So we think that Yeshua was just walking around just saying anything. If he's the word made flesh, wouldn't he be speaking the word? Wouldn't he say something according to what his father said? You think he was just walking down the street, just making stuff up? Like, thou tree sitteth on the hill and beareth fruiteth. And you like, where they come from? That wouldn't even make sense. But Deuteronomy 29, verse 1 through 9. These are the words of the covenant which Yahuwah commanded Moshe to make with the children of Israel in the land of Moab, besides the covenant which he made with them in Horeb. And Moshe called all Israel and said to them, you yourselves saw all that Yahuwah did before your eyes in the land of Mitzrayim, to Pharaoh and to all his servants and to all his land. Your eyes saw the great trials and the signs and those great wonders, but Yahuwah has not given you a heart to know, and eyes to see and ears to hear to this day. Now, that's something to say in and of itself. Like, you done seen all this, heard all thunder and lightning, voices, everything. I believe me, if I'm sitting in this house, I see thunder, lightning, and hear voices coming through the wall. I'm gonna remember that for the rest of my life. And I have led you 40 years in the wilderness. Your garments have not worn out on you, and your sandals have not worn out on your feet. You ate no bread and drank no wine, nor strong drink, so that you might know that I am Yahuwah your Elohim. And when you came to this place, Sihon, sovereign of Heshbon, and Og, sovereign of Bashan, came out against us to battle, and we smote them, and took their land, and gave it as an inheritance to the Reubenites, and to the Gadites, and to half the tribes of Manasseh. Therefore, you shall guard the words of this covenant and do them so that you prosper in all that you do.
Hallelujah.
He said, guard the words. Ain't that what the Messiah was just talking about? He said, when they teach you about to guard Moshe's, the laws Moshe gave, guard them. But he said, don't be like them. They hypocrites. They telling you to do something that they ain't doing. Let's be real, right? We got kids. We got kids, some of us young, older, don't matter. If you don't have any children, hey, I pray the Most High give it to you. But we need a nation. Which one do a child learn more by? What you say or what you do? Somebody comment that in the comments. Which one do a child learn more from? See, we came from a generation especially my generation, came from some people who used to say, I came from Mississippi. They used to say, man, they'll do one thing, do what I tell you. Don't be doing what I do. I'm like, what how backwards is that? When a child is actually watching, a child's going to learn from how you walk, talk, how I speak to people in this world. Obadiah speak to people in the world the same way. If I say, hey, how you doing? He'd be like, hey, how you doing? Hey, what's going on? Hey, what's going on? Hey, man, I'm like, hey. I'm like, man, could you do that with a job? Because I wish you would beat me to work and pay some bills around here. You know what I mean? You can't do that. But Deuteronomy says to keep these laws, to do them. But we go back, said the scribes, they say and do not. The complete opposite. So their teachers, they're looking with their teachers speaking out their mouth, but teaching people to be hypocrites. How can Yeshua call them hypocrites if he does not see the hypocrisy that they're doing? He got to see it. You got to be watching. And he's teaching and telling for them to watch. Like, man, you better look at this. So to tell you the truth, it really wasn't an uproar until Yeshua showed up on the scene. What was happening before he was born? People was just going with it. All the hypocrisy, the lies, the bull crap, to the point that you look around and you can read this word and see that the Most High said that when you don't keep his laws and his commandments, certain things that happen. They're watching Romans. Their just was occupied by the Grecians. Now the Romans is occupying them, and they are listening to some people, and they're not seeing nothing getting. They ain't seeing nothing getting better. They're walking around being occupied because hypocrisy was in the position of leadership. It got to be if an Edomite king was over Judea. That doesn't even make logical sense. That don't make logical sense. Let me see, where we at? We in Matthew 23?
No, we're in
We was in Deuteronomy. We were in Matthew. We was at Matthew 23. Let's go Matthew 26, verse 14 and 15. Matthew 26. We're gonna be in Matthew, so just at least keep a bookmark on Matthew, and we're gonna be going back and forth. We're just sitting comparing what's going on with the leaven of the Sadducees and the Pharisees and the unleavened word of the Torah. Matthew 26, verse 14 and 15. Just put a 1 whenever you're there. That's right. Consider their work. He considered their works. That's right. That's right. No lie. Man, Matthew 26, verse 14 and 15. 26, 14 and 15. It says, 26, 14. Okay. Peep this. Peep this, y'all. Then one of the 12 called Yehuda from Koreth, went to the chief priest and said, what would you give me to deliver him to you? And they counted out to him 30 pieces of silver. Now, I want you to remember what I just read in Deuteronomy. Didn't Moshe say to them, you've seen all these works. You've seen everything the Most High did. And yet he's still giving you eyes to where you can't see, ears to where you can't hear to this day. Tell me something. Judah or Judas was hanging with Yeshua, seeing all these works, seeing him. I mean, you seen the dead being raised. You seen things that, man, one could just, you was with Yeshua while he walked this earth with flesh. This is before the dissension. You was with him like the man, the myth, the legend. And yet you so blind that after seeing all these things, the Most High still blinded you so you to come back and say, hey, let me get that bread. Betrayal. Low down. They smile in your face. Whole time want to take your place. That backstabber. That backstabber. Keep your hand on Matthew 26. Go to Exodus 20. That's right. That's right, backstabber. Go to Exodus 23, 7 and 8. He all right? He okay? Let him see the fro. Let him see the fro. Let him see what that's how I was back in the day. They used to call me pick them out. They something. Exodus 23, 7 and 8. Exodus 23, verse 7 and 8. Exodus 23, verse 7 and 8. All right. We got people, we there. We're finna get ready to get it in. So he said he went, that was Judas said, hey, he's gonna take some money to go and yep, spirit of betrayal. That's leaven. That's a spirit. You was just talking about that. You was just talking about that, Brother Ben. That's right, the spirit of betrayal. That's leaven. And when we wasn't in this walk, we had no clue about it, wondering why some same people that we hanging with, trying to be in the crew, we wondering why we getting the police knocking us all upside our head. Like, how y'all everywhere that I supposed to be at? Your homeboy Clarence he just clean, man. I don't know how you got hit. I don't know why that big old knot upside your head. It just so happened when we all came to a conclusion to go to the place, I wasn't there every time. Every time. You better watch a brother named Clarence, unless somebody over here named Clarence in his walk. My name Terrence, not Clarence.
Okay.
So we know that he took that money, right? Exodus 23, verse 7 and 8. I'm reading. Keep yourself far from a false matter and do not kill the innocent and the righteous. For I do not declare the wicked right, and do not take a bribe, for a bribe blinds the seeing one and twists the words of the righteous. Judas was going against Yahuwah's word. He was going against the Torah, thinking he's going against a man. That's the problem. If the words say, he who finds a wife finds a good thing and receive favor from the Most High, and I'm going against my wife, am I not going against the favor that the Most High gave me? I'm thinking I'm going against here. Shut up. Pow, pow. Put some cheese on my grits. I'm tired of all this. Pow, 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 pow. You just knocking all your favor. You ain't paying no attention to nothing. Going against the word. There it is. Bam. Batman punch. Pow. Bam. Slap. Smack. And you're warring against Yahuwah. He's saying, I'm trying to give you favor. No, it don't matter. It don't matter. I'm going to go against all that. It don't matter. Judas took a bribe thinking what? What? 30 pieces of silver? You thought you was balling? You thought you was balling. 30 people, what you finna do? What do a music video?
And you perverted the words.
You literally took everything that the Most High is bringing out right now, let you know that they were going directly against Yahuwah's word. Directly against his word. directly. Now, if we could, keep your hand on Matthew, but if we could, turn to Mark 14. Mark 14. This is what the Most High had Brother Ben stuck at. He's like, you better not change that chapter. We coming back, same back time, same back channel. Mark 14, 55, verse 55 and 56. Mark 14. That's real. Nothing of value. Just silver. Just some 30 pieces of silver. And we talking about the Messiah. We ain't talking about, Freddie who kept 2 lambs. We talking about the Messiah. Somebody convinced you to go against the Messiah. Boy, if the Most High didn't blind you after all that, boy, you got to be. That was Ray Charles walking. No offense against Ray Charles. That was Stevie wandering, not Stevie Wonder. That was just Stevie wandering around, just doing. Mark 14, 55 and 56. Got some ones up there. Mark 14, 55, 56. And the chief priests and all the council were seeking witness against Yeshua to put him to death. And they were finding none, for many bore false witness against him, but their evidence did not agree. Go to Exodus 23. Exodus 23. Exodus 23, verse 1 and 2. Let me know when you get there. This is the word. I'm letting the word speak for itself. This has nothing. I'm just giving the word and commentary. The word speaks for itself. It's right in front of you right now. We got some ones up there. I'm going to read it. Do not bring a false report. Do not put your hand with the wicked to be a malicious witness. Do not follow a crowd to do evil, nor bear false witness in a strife so as to turn aside after many to pervert. Who was they going against? Do you see the leaven against the unleavened? Do you really see the leaven of the Pharisee? The Pharisee just got, it said it. The Most High don't write nothing down in order for you to just miss it. It was a reason why. So when somebody wrote in Mark, they said they've got a bunch of false witnesses against him. So you can then go to the Torah, go to the word, and see that it's in direct opposition to the word. That's all it was. They were going against Yahuwah. They were going against Yahuwah. They were going against his Torah. You can't even make that up. These are the Sadducees and the Pharisees who say that they study the Torah. How do you miss that? Is that a chapter taken from the book? Did you go temporary blind when you get to that scripture? Did somebody snatch the pages and just run out and you was like, hey, let's just keep on going and be Sadducees and Pharisees? This is why Yeshua called them hypocrites. This is why he said y'all are hypocrites. This is why he said that. They were proving themselves to be it in their actions. This is why he said, do the word. Doing the word is not, the Most High don't want robots. These are words in the book, but he wants you to live them out. When he say, don't bear false witness, he wants you to go out, not just, you don't got to read that every day, but don't bear false witness and just act like a robot, like you inputting some stuff into you every time somebody like, hey, did somebody do something? Do not bear false witness. I will not bear false witness. And then you just keep moving on like a weirdo. No, go out and do it. You should be silent. When somebody looking for some folks to lie on, you ain't even part of the crowd. The Most High is saying that's a mark on you. He sees the mark. Remember the blood that he said put on the door during the Passover? It was for the destroyer angel to look and see the mark and keep moving. Think about if an Israelite didn't do what the word, if they didn't do it, and the destroyer angel didn't see the mark, he would have came in and took their child. He like, hey, as that man, as the Amalek that Joshua came up to and said, hey, are you for us or against us? He said, neither. I ain't for you or against you. I'm with the Most High. I'm the captain of the Most High. Take your shoes off. And that's the side that we all should be on. Doing the word is you supposed to be, I'm not for you or against you. I'm on the side of the Most High. I'm not here. It ain't about friends. It ain't about family. It ain't about blood. It is that if everything's right. But all right. I'll let you know now. If you ain't in this walk, I'm not saying to you like, I mean, get up out my face. But there is a wall because I got to watch and see what you serving. So for we see right now, we're seeing right now that he said, don't bear false witnesses. They got people to bear false witness directly and in contrast against his word and was just fine with it. And was just fine with it. They all the way to his death. You got to be solidified because death is real and final. Right on. Great point. Israelite slothfulness could have caused this firstborn to die. Right on. That. Think about it. Think about it. Think about it if you even put that blood on that door. Just, oh, man, I'm going to get to it, though. I heard what Moshe said. Yeah, I feel you, though. I'm just thankful that everybody was scared. They feared Yahuwah and did. That was something serious. I don't care what nobody say. Let Brother Ben, let anybody on here come and, hey, I got word, the Most High coming. You better put pickle juice on top of your roof of your house. I'm slanging pickle juice everywhere. I'm putting it on my body, top of the house, throwing it on my wife, right in the eyes, chop, 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 chop. Like, no. All right, we're going to book Matthew 23 and 14. Matthew 23 and 14. Watch how the Most High, the Most High's words is exposing people. The Most High words is exposing people's actions, exposing them. That's what I like about it. While they just walking around and doing, he like, yeah, keep on. Yeah. And only the wise, those with discernment, those with understanding can look at the word and look at a person's action and see what they serving. What's your intent?
You would have had to be living in Torah to even recognize people
That's
who weren't.
Right on. My wife said you had to be living that Torah to recognize the people who were. Again, as I said before, if Yeshua, when he wasn't there, what was happening? Folks was just moving and grooving, being occupied by Rome. Sadducees and Pharisees just wicked, lying on folks, just doing anything to solidify their position, and everybody just went with it. They like, hey, this is just how it is. I'm not saying that everybody lived in that time actually went with it. Some people understood, like, hey, because remember, all things is of the Most High, good and evil. There are times the Most High will let, believe me, when somebody wicked come into power, it's a manifestation of the hearts of the men and the minds of the men and women that day. So when the wicked come in power, that's just a manifestation. Do not believe the Antichrist coming here to just let loose wickedness. Wickedness is going to be here, and then he's going to pop up, and everybody going to be like, yay, you are the epitome of our wickedness. Thank you. I wanted to be gay, and now you're saying that it's so legal that if somebody said anything about me being gay, they're the ones going to be put in prison. Thank you. Yes, we win. I was already that before you showed up. Ain't nobody going to show up and be like, hey, guess what? I'm in town, and I'm hanging around. Now you can actually be gay. And I'm like, I'm with my wife, but you know what? I like menses now. Forget you. Give me some menses. That's not how it goes. That's not how it goes. Right on. Matthew 23:14. Woe to you, scribes and Pharisees, hypocrites, because you eat up widows' houses, and for a show make long prayers. Because of this, you shall receive greater judgment. Why, again, did he specifically call out the widows? Yeshua was not talking for no reason. Everything he said, he meant it. He seemed like a man of facts. Now, he the one who could act. You know how people say real talk today? Man, that's real talk. And then you think about what they're saying, you're like, that was the dumbest thing that anybody could ever said. That wasn't real. But if he said real talk, it was solid. He was talking about the word. So he said, woe to you, Scribes and Pharisees, because you eat up widows' houses. Go to Exodus 22. Exodus 22, verse 22 to 24. Exodus 22, verses 22 to 24. Put a 1 when you get there. Exodus 22, verse 22 to 24. All right, we got some ones in there. I'm going to read it. Do not afflict any widow or fatherless child. If you do afflict them at all, if they cry out to me at all, I shall certainly hear their cry. And my wrath shall burn, and I shall slay you with the sword. Your wives shall be widows, and your children fatherless. Yahuwah ain't even playing. Yeshua was not just saying nothing. He's saying that the Sadducees and the Pharisees, do you know that? Listen, the church is doing that today. They take from the widows. Pay your tithes, pay your tithes, pay your tithes, pay your tithes. God gonna bless you, God gonna bless you, God gonna bless you, God gonna bless you. Then when they out there bad and they need something, man, I'm gonna get, listen, how much did you pay? You paid $30,000 this year. I'm gonna give you $322 and pray to Jesus for the rest. Because he gonna some kind of way come down from mythical fairyland and pay your bills. You know what's sad? What's sad is there's other religions that keep the law better than the Christian church. I'm specifically talking about the Christian church for a reason. Even Muslims say, yeah, we believe you don't supposed to eat the dietary laws in the scriptures. Yeah, you need to keep them. That's sad. Christian church, suffering from every disease you can name. It'd be literally a pastor, blind, gout, diabetes and arthritis. Diaritis, stuff that just mended together. They got everything. They got literally the doctor tell them that. What do I got? The everything. We got a pill for it. And then tell you, but God made doctors. So they that's who the Most High sent, the doctors with the white pills. I'm telling you, that's sad. It's sad. When somebody outdoing you, better than you, supposed to be doing it. That's how far we've fallen as a people. That's what should make us run to Yahuwah and be happy to be his people. He's saying that to this day, you're my people. I chose you. We should be happy to be his people.
Them pastors be saying, praying over the unclean things while they're sick and dying from it.
We're going to go 1 Corinthians. 1 Corinthians chapter 5. I'm telling you, diabetes and arthritis. Just mend it together. I'm telling you, it's there. Hey, it's there. Going to the church, and I'm telling you, bad it's a lot of it, man. Our people need help. Our people need help. If what I'm telling you is the concept of the Sadducees and the Pharisees, that leavened belief, they turned it into a religion called Christianity. They say and do not. Go against pastor. You don't believe me? Go into a church and go against pastor, and he could be directly going against the word. And you know what? I'll give you an example. A pastor, when I first met my wife was working. A pastor came and seen her in this town. A pastor came and seen her. And he said something real slick. I see you ain't got no ring on. If he loved you, he would have sound like Beyonce. He loved you, he would have put a ring on it. All the single ladies. All the single ladies. My wife was talking to me about it. Somebody heard what she was saying, heard her. They said, who? And mind you, my wife we were just here. She did not know this dude. She didn't know how solidified he was. She didn't know nothing about it. She was just like, hey, this man, this was his name. She said his name. The person heard, you a lie. Pastor would never say that, ever. He would never say that. You are the liar. You are. Since I've been here, the things I've heard about this particular dude have been so appalling and so horrible. And yet the people who go to his church will literally say, you're lying, while they themselves are a victim of some of the things that he's doing.
They're the widows. And the fatherless, that
you can't make this up. 1 Corinthians 5, 1 through 8. 1 Corinthians 5, 1 through 8. Put a 1 when you're there. Let me get there. Ah, there it is. Ema Libby, when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked man rules, the people groan. You know the sad? We become so numb, people ain't even groaning no more. They just actually going with the wicked. You know what? He's straight. Matter of fact, we put more wicked. We'll put a less wicked person over a real wicked person and feel like because we got the wicked and not the wicked, we good. Like, oh man, they just, they rule over the poor harshly. But that one, he eat babies. I'd rather the one that just rule over the poor. The one that eat babies, he real wicked. You can't make this stuff up. 1 Corinthians 5, verse 1 through 8. Peep this. Peep it. It is commonly reported that there is whoring among you, and such whoring as is not even named amongst the Gentiles, so as one to have his father's wife. And you have been puffed up and did not rather mourn, so that he who has done this deed be removed from among you. You like, not only did he take his father's wife, but you like, hey, he can sit right here.
They comfortable breaking bread.
Pass the sausage links. Man, stop. You want to know something? Keep your hand right there. Go to Exodus 20. We're going to finish 1 Corinthians when I come back. Go to Exodus chapter 20, verses 12, 14, and 17. Exodus. Keep your hand right there. Go to Exodus chapter 20. Let's deal with that first. Exodus chapter 20. Now, we're talking about supposed to be the basics of Scripture. It's happening right there, going against his word. Chapter 20. I'm going to go to verse 12. 12 say, respect your father and your mother so that your days are prolonged upon the land which Yahuwah gives. Yahuwah your Elohim is giving you. Verse 14 says, you do not commit adultery. And verse 17 says, you do not covet your neighbor's house, you do not covet your neighbor's wife, nor his male servant, nor female servant, nor his ox, nor his donkey, or whatever belongs to your neighbor. How this man is, whoever this is literally, you can go back to 1 Corinthians now. They're breaking first off, you're breaking more than that because you ain't even respecting Yahuwah. So we can just take the first four and you just flush that in the garbage. But you are not honoring your father and your mother, committing adultery, and coveting after your father's wife. And he's saying that y'all ain't even remove him from among you. I'm going to finish it up. For I indeed am as absent in the body, but present in the Ruach, have already judged the one who did this as though I were present. In the name of our master, Yeshua HaMashiach, when you are gathered together in my spirit with the power of our master, Yeshua HaMashiach, deliver such as one to Satan for destruction of the flesh in order that their spirit be saved in the day of the master Yeshua. Your boasting is not good. Do you not know that a little leaven leavens the entire lump? Therefore, cleanse out the old leaven so that you are a new lump, as you are unleavened. For also Mashiach, our Passover, was offered for us. So then let us observe the festival, not with old leaven, nor with the leaven of evil and wickedness, but with the unleavened bread of sincerity and truth. He's saying that he is literally equating what's happening in that to the opposite of the word. He himself is validating that the leaven and unleavened is doctrine and the actions of people. This man ain't keeping the word. He ain't keeping the commandments. And he's sitting there eating amongst y'all. And he's saying, a little leaven leaven the whole lump. Get it out. Get rid of it. Get rid of that. You got to get that thing up out of there. I want to save this one. I want to save this one for last about the unleavened, because when I read this actually made me mad. Go to John 19 and 15. John 19 and 15. And put a 1 whenever you're ready. Right on. This right here made me mad. Right on. Listen what they say. I'm gonna start at 14. And it was the preparation for the Pesach, and about the 6th hour. And he said to the Yahudim, see your sovereign. This is Pilate. But they shouted, away, away, impale him. Pilate said to them, shall I impale your king or your sovereign? The chief priests answered, we have no sovereign except Caesar. Go to Deuteronomy 17 and 15. These the priests now. Deuteronomy 17 and 15. All right. I'm going to start at 14. When you come to the land which Yahuwah your Elohim has given you, and shall possess it, and shall dwell in it, and you shall say, let me appoint a sovereign over me like all the Gentiles that are around me. You shall certainly appoint a sovereign over you, whom Yahuwah your Elohim shall choose. Appoint a sovereign over you from among your brothers. You are not allowed to appoint a foreigner over you who is not your brother. That don't even make sense. These were the chief priests saying, we have no sovereign, no king, but Caesar himself. And you talking to, we talking about Yeshua HaMashiach. You like, nah, give us you know how it says 2 witnesses out of 2 or 3 witnesses, right? You had an Edomite king already in Judea. And then you say the only sovereign we got is Caesar? How you got 2 foreigners over you? Serving as a witness against yourself, how far you've fallen as a people. This is the word you going against. And you're the high priest? Isn't this what he was talking about in Mark? Ain't this what he was saying? When he was talking about how you yourself don't even enter the kingdom, and then you keep other people from getting to the kingdom. You lay burdens on people. You're literally doing the opposite of the word. You're literally a hypocrite. You put another king over you from another nation, and they're oppressing you. They're oppressing you. That's just weird. They're oppressing you. That you can't make that up. You can't make it up. Before I turn this back over to Brother Ben, let me say this. The Most High never said leaven was a bad thing. He said the doctrine, he was referencing leaven as being doctrine, actions. He never said the actual substance of leaven was bad. In Leviticus 23:17, you can go there on your own. There's a wave sheaf offering. Those 2 loaves of bread supposed to have leaven in it. In Matthew 13:33, the Most High said that the kingdom was like a woman putting leaven in 3 omers of flour. So the substance of leaven is not the problem. That's not the problem. It's twisting doctrine to fit whatever it is that you want, and then you teaching others. Did he not say that those who don't keep it, but then you also teach others? That's what the Sadducees and the Pharisees were, twisting doctrine to their own demise, to their own failures. So I pray this teaching was truly, truly a blessing to you. I pray that you, for anybody to get anything up out of it. I'm thankful for the opportunity, and I'm truly humbled to teach before you, and that you listened. And again, I love you all, and not just Shabbat Shalom, but high Shabbat Shalom. And I thank you, Brother Ben.
All right, man. Woo! Fire lesson today. My, man, that blessed my ruach right there. I don't know about y'all, but man, I got my notebook pad down. Look at it. Look at that. Man, that was awesome. Awesome. We told our y'all for using our and man, I had no doubt that brother would bring forth a fire lesson like that, because, you know, even our conversations when we talk, you know, he's always bringing out nuggets of truth, things that are very, very valuable for us as a people, even for myself. So I knew that this would be nothing shy of inspirational and informative. All right.
Israelites Relit Ministry.